Every single day, you and I, well, billions of us really, we create this almost unimaginable amount of digital stuff.
Yeah, it's staggering.
Texts, emails, huge video files, complex data. It all has to go somewhere. Can you even begin to picture the scale, just the sheer amount of information that needs storing right now across the whole globe?
It's mind-bending when you actually stop to think about it.
Okay, let's try to unpack this then, because the numbers we're looking at today are, well, they're truly mind-boggling.
They really are.
Today, we're doing a deep dive into the global cloud storage software market.
Yeah.
And our guide for this is a pretty compelling report. It's from Cognitive Market Research called Global Cloud Storage Software Market Expansion Projections.
A really solid source for this topic.
So our mission here, for you listening, is to peel back the layers on this, uncover the, frankly, surprising numbers behind this market's explosion. We'll explore where the growth is really happening and, ultimately try to understand what all this rapid expansion actually signifies for you.
Sounds good. Let's jump in.
Right. So this report, it paints a picture of just incredible growth, globally speaking first.
Yeah, the top-line figures are something else.
Back in 2021, the whole cloud storage software market, it was valued at just under, $17 billion? $16.86 billion, to be precise.
That's right, $16.86 billion.
But get this, it's projected to almost double to over $33 billion by just 2025. That's next year.
Just around the corner. And the curve just gets steeper.
Exactly. Then it truly explodes to a massive $128.5 billion. Let's call it that by 2033.
$128.5 billion. It's huge.
And that means a compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of 18.4% over that whole period.
Yeah, and that 18.4%, it isn't just big. You have to see it in context.
Come on.
Well, it positions cloud storage as one of the fastest accelerating foundational technologies out there. I mean, it's outpacing a lot of established software sectors.
Right, so not just a niche thing.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It suggests this isn't just about businesses migrating existing data. It's about entirely new digital interactions, new possibilities opening up because this scalable storage exists.
Okay.
It really is a foundational shift. It just underscores this relentless digitization of pretty much everything.
Right. So where is this growth actually concentrated? That's where it gets really interesting, I think.
Yeah, the regional breakdown is key.
Let's start with North America. Maybe not a huge surprise. It's a powerhouse, right?
Definitely leading the pack in terms of current value.
The report shows its market value jumping from around $6.3 billion back in 2021.
$6.3 billion.
All the way up to over $45 billion projected by 2033.
$45 billion, yeah.
And within North America, the U.S. is just clearly dominant. Projected growth from what, just over $5.3 billion?
$5.34 billion in 21.
To nearly $38.2 billion by 2033.
38.2. So the lion's share of that North American total.
So thinking about North America, keeping that big lead, what are the kind of foundational things the report points to? What enabled that region to grab such a head start?
Well, the report suggests it's largely down to a couple of things. First, just early adoption of cloud tech in general.
Okay, being first movers.
Exactly. Plus, a really highly developed tech infrastructure already in place, and then this very robust ecosystem of tech companies, innovators, venture capital.
Right, the whole package.
Yeah, it created this fertile ground for cloud storage solutions to really take root early and then just keep expanding.
Makes sense.
And, it's worth saying, while the U.S. dominates, Canada and Mexico are seeing really strong growth too.
Right. The numbers showed Canada going from about $500 million to over $4.2 billion.
Yep, and Mexico from around $430 million to over $3.1 billion. So significant growth, just on a smaller absolute scale than the U.S.
Okay, but North America obviously isn't the only story. Asia Pacific,
Right.
Wow, that's charting an incredible trajectory.
Absolutely, the growth rates there are phenomenal.
Its market value soared from around $4.6 billion in 2021.
$4.6 billion.
And it's expected to hit, get this, $38.7 billion by 2033, almost catching up to North America's current size projected out.
It's closing the gap rapidly.
Yeah.
And within APAC, China is the clear leader currently.
Yeah, China's projected to grow from just over $1.2 billion to more than $10.6 billion by 2033. Huge numbers.
10.65 billion, yeah. A massive internal market driving that.
And then you look at India, really aggressive growth shown there. It's on track to expand from, what, nearly $476 million?
Yep, just under $500 million in 21.
To over $4.5 billion by 2033.
4.5 billion, that's almost tenfold growth.
So what are the unique factors driving that kind of aggressive uptake in a market like India and, I guess, across APAC more broadly?
Well, India's trajectory, and you see this across many parts of APAC, it's a prime example of these massive populations just rapidly digitizing. Huge numbers of people coming online, businesses transforming. And if you connect that to the bigger picture, it really shows how quickly these, you could call them newer markets, are adopting cloud solutions. And often, they're leapfrogging older tech entirely. They didn't have the same legacy systems.
Ah, okay. Straight to cloud.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You couple that with booming startup scenes, lots of government-backed digital initiatives. There's just this insatiable demand for scalable, flexible storage.
So less about migrating old stuff, more building new.
Exactly. It's often about building new digital foundations from the ground up. And that helps explain that explosive growth you see not just in China and India, but also Japan, South Korea, Australia, Singapore, and the whole burgeoning Southeast Asia market as well. They're all showing multi-billion-dollar projections.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Next up, let's look at Europe. It's a different picture, maybe. A diverse but still really significant market.
Very significant, yes, but definitely more diverse in its characteristics.
The market value there is projected to rise from nearly $3.6 billion in 2021.
$3.6 billion starting point.
To almost $26 billion by 2033. So still very substantial growth.
Absolutely, $25.8 billion to be precise.
And the leaders there. Germany and the UK seem to be heading the pack. Germany projected over $5.5 billion, UK nearing $4 billion by 2033.
That's right, $5.5 billion for Germany, $3.9 for the UK.
So comparing Europe's growth patterns to, say, North America, what's notable there, it's mature, but as you said, varied.
That's a great observation. While it's definitely a mature tech market overall, the growth in cloud storage specifically feels much more segmented, fragmented perhaps.
How so?
Well, you have factors like differing regulatory environments across countries. Think about the impact of GDPR on data sovereignty and storage choices. That plays a big role.
Right. Compliance adds complexity.
Exactly. And you also have unique industry focuses in each country that influence their specific needs and adoption rates. So some nations are clearly accelerating faster than others.
So it highlights these diverse paths to cloud adoption, even within one continent.
Precisely. You still see substantial growth across the board, though. France, Italy, Spain, they're all projected to be multi-billion-dollar markets by 2033 as well. It shows widespread adoption is happening, just maybe at different paces, and for slightly different reasons country by country.
Got it. Okay, so beyond these sort of big three regions, the report also highlights other areas, still significant, maybe smaller now, but showing really impressive growth rates.
Yeah, the emerging growth areas are really important to watch.
Let's take South America. The market value there projected to surge from just over $1 billion in 2021.
$1.06 billion.
To over $8.3 billion by 2033. That's quite a jump.
$8.38 billion. And led primarily by Brazil, Argentina, and Colombia, all looking at multi-billion-dollar projections.
Okay. Then the Middle East, similar story. Increasing revenue projected from nearly $877 million in 21
$877 million.
to over $6.8 billion by 2033.
6.83 billion, yeah. And the key drivers there are Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and the UAE.
And finally, Africa. Starting from a smaller base, for sure, just over $400 million in 2021.
$404 million, yeah.
But expected to reach over $3.1 billion by 2033.
$3.16 billion. Primarily led by South Africa, which is projected at over $1.3 billion, and Nigeria, nearing $500 million.
So these regions, South America, Middle East, Africa, they might be smaller in total value now, but those percentage growth figures are huge. How do you see their rise influencing the global picture long term?
Oh, they're absolutely critical for the future. You can't ignore them. They're immense growth potential.
Yeah.
It's often driven by digital infrastructure that's developing really rapidly now, plus increasing internet penetration.
Right, connecting more people and businesses.
Exactly. It means they could become really significant drivers of global cloud adoption down the line. They represent these vast, often untapped markets that are catching up fast.
So their cumulative impact will be pretty substantial.
I think so, yeah. Especially as more businesses, more individuals in these areas come online and start demanding these scalable, flexible solutions we've been talking about. It's just a powerful reminder that this digital transformation, it's truly a global thing now.
Okay, so bringing it all together,
Yeah.
what does all this mean for you, the listener? Whether you're, a business leader trying to strategize, maybe an innovator looking for the next big thing, or maybe you're just really curious about how our digital world keeps evolving.
I think a key takeaway, maybe the key takeaway from all these figures is just the undeniable, massive, and importantly, geographically widespread expansion of cloud storage. It's becoming this foundational technology.
Not just nice to have anymore.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It's really becoming the absolute backbone for, well, nearly every digital interaction at almost every enterprise globally. These huge numbers, they reflect a really fundamental and I think permanent shift in how data is seen, how it's managed, how it's utilized across basically every part of the global economy.
Yeah. And when you look at that global projection again, that nearly $129 billion market by 2033, it really is a kind of aha moment, isn't it? It just slams home how central cloud storage has become.
It really does. The scale is just immense.
So maybe a final thought to leave people with. Building on all this data, consider what this kind of exponential growth in cloud storage means. Not just for the tech companies, right? But for the very nature of information itself, accessibility, even, maybe, our collective societal memory in the decades ahead.
That's a deep question.
What new challenges or maybe opportunities might pop up when pretty much all human knowledge and activity is stored somewhere else, accessed remotely? Something to think about.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really plunging into something fundamental, how organizations handle their data, a truly vital asset. Our focus for this deep dive, the cloud storage software market. It's evolving so fast. And just so you know, everything we're discussing today comes from, well, a pretty thorough look at the sources you shared with us, especially some great research from cognitive market research. So our mission for you, our listener, is to unpack the key forces here. We're talking the drivers pushing growth, the restraints kind of holding things back, and some really fascinating trends that are changing how data gets managed and scaled. In this cloud-first world we're all living in, think of this as your shortcut to getting up to speed on, well, a crucial piece of today's digital infrastructure. Okay, so where do we start with this explosion in growth? I guess it really begins with something we see every single day, just the incredible, unstoppable amount of data being created. This feels like the #1 force, right? Rapid data proliferation and digital transformation. I mean, think about it. The numbers are staggering.
They say digital data volume might triple in just the next few years, something like 175 zettabytes by 2025. It's almost unimaginable. Every IoT device, every social post, every business transaction, it all adds up. So the businesses, they just urgently need scalable, secure ways to store all of this stuff, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. It's become crystal clear that, the traditional ways, the on-premise servers and all that, they just can't cope. Not with this scale. Cloud storage software, it gives you that flexibility, the speed, the accessibility that those older systems just fundamentally lack. And it's tied directly to how digital ecosystems are expanding. Plus the huge demand from cloud-native apps, those built for the cloud and agile infrastructure, IT systems that can change fast. That demand alone is really pushing the market forward.
Right, but it's not just a tech problem, this data explosion. It hits the finances too. Which brings us neatly to the second big driver, growing demand for cost-effective and scalable storage solutions. Because unlike the old days, where you had to buy tons of hardware upfront, a huge capital investment cloud often uses that pay-as-you-go model. That really slashes the initial costs, yeah.
Exactly. If we zoom out a bit, this is really about giving businesses financial agility. Doesn't matter if they're large or small. That model, it lets you scale up automatically when demand spikes. Think peak season for retail or a viral campaign. That's incredibly attractive, whether you're a small startup needing to suddenly handle more traffic or a huge global company with fluctuating needs. And, in times of economic uncertainty, it's even more appealing. You control spending, but still get top performance.
Okay, speaking of agility, what about companies that don't want to rely on just one cloud provider? Or maybe mix cloud with their own servers. That seems pretty common now. But I guess is our third driver. Increased adoption of hybrid and multi-cloud strategies. We're seeing more and more organizations combine private clouds with public clouds, or even use several different public cloud vendors. They do it for flexibility, for backup, for meeting regulations too.
Right. And that immediately raises the question, how do you manage all that? How do you keep data secure and connected when it's spread across all these different environments? That's precisely where cloud storage software becomes essential. Not just nice to have, but critical. It acts like the air traffic control for data, moving it around, making sure security is consistent everywhere, guaranteeing it's available no matter which cloud it's sitting in. It makes those complex setups actually work smoothly. Uninterrupted service. That's the goal.
Okay, but it's not all smooth sailing, is it? There are definitely hurdles. Let's talk about what's maybe slowing down adoption or causing hesitation for some. First one seems pretty obvious. Concerns regarding data security and privacy. Even with all the advances, a lot of companies are still, well, nervous about putting their really sensitive stuff in the cloud, worries about data breaches, unauthorized people getting access, or just failing to meet compliance rules. Are these fears still as prominent now, or are providers getting better at handling them?
That's a really good question. It highlights this constant tension, between pushing innovation forward and being cautious with regulations. Frameworks like GDPR in Europe or HIPAA for healthcare data in the US, they add serious complexity. They demand really strict rules about how data is handled, where it's stored, who can access it. And while the big cloud providers are definitely improving their security and compliance features, ultimately the responsibility still lies with the company using the cloud. So yes, it absolutely slows down adoption, especially in those super sensitive sectors like finance or healthcare, where a mistake can be catastrophic.
Makes sense. Okay, what about something more basic? Like, what if your internet connection just isn't great? That feels like another big barrier. High reliance on stable internet connectivity. I mean, cloud storage needs the internet to work, right? Solid continuous access.
Yes, and this really touches on an important point about equitable access. Is everyone getting the same benefits from the cloud? If you're in a remote area or maybe a region with less developed infrastructure, that dependence on a stable connection is a real problem. Think about latency delays or just unexpected downtime. Poor connectivity directly hits productivity. It definitely creates resistance, especially for businesses or users who aren't in major cities with robust networks. You need that solid pipe to the cloud for it to work well.
Right, you absolutely do. And then there's the challenge of moving data that's already there, all that legacy stuff. That leads to our final restraint. Complexities of data migration and integration. Just shifting massive amounts of old data companies have collected over years into the cloud. That takes time, doesn't it? And technical know-how. And it can cost a fair bit just to plan and do it.
Yeah, think about it like this. It's like trying to move your entire house, fully furnished, without taking anything apart first. It's incredibly difficult. You might wonder if the hassle is worth it until you see the benefits later on. Plus, sometimes the old systems, the legacy software, just isn't compatible with the new cloud environment. That makes integration even harder. So yeah, it definitely makes some organizations pause, especially if the ROI, the return on investment, isn't super clear up front. It's a big undertaking. It needs careful thought.
Okay. So we've seen the drivers, we've seen the hurdles. Now let's shift gears and look towards the future. What's coming next? Here's where it gets really interesting, I think. Mixing cloud storage with cutting-edge tech, like AI. How is the integration of AI and machine learning in data management changing the game?
Oh, it's genuinely transformative. We're seeing these advanced platforms use AI for all sorts of things now, like automatically classifying data as it comes in. Imagine financial records instantly get tagged confidential, sent to a secure encrypted storage area, while, say, marketing photos go to a cheaper, easier to access tier, all automated. AI can also predict storage needs, scaling things up before you hit a limit, or spot weird access patterns that might signal a security issue. These aren't just small tweaks. They drastically cut down on manual work, boost efficiency, and help companies make much smarter, faster decisions about their data strategy. It's about letting the tech handle the routine intelligence.
That is pretty amazing. Okay, what about this idea that the cloud isn't just this one giant central thing anymore, that it's moving closer to where data is actually generated? That sounds like our second big trend. The emergence of edge computing and decentralized storage models. Because real-time processing is becoming critical, right? Especially for things like self-driving cars, huge IoT networks, smart cities. They need answers now.
Exactly. This is all about bringing cloud capabilities right to the edge of the network, close to the source of the data. These decentralized models mean data can be stored and processed locally, or at least much closer. That cuts latency way down, makes systems much more responsive. Think about an autonomous car needing to react instantly based on sensor data processed right in the vehicle. Or smart city systems managing traffic flow in real time. You can't wait for data to go all the way to a central cloud and back for those kinds of applications. It's about enabling immediate action.
All right. Makes perfect sense for those use cases. Okay, so one final trend. What does all this mean for specific industries, the ones with really particular needs? This seems to be the rapid growth in industry-specific cloud storage solutions.
Yeah.
We're seeing vendors building platforms that are like tailor-made for healthcare or banking and finance, BFSI, or education, media.
hmm And this is really important for driving deeper adoption in those specialized fields. These verticalized solutions, they're designed from the ground up to meet specific industry rules, security requirements, performance needs. It helps businesses streamline their operations, meet regulations much more easily, make data more accessible for their specific workflows, all while staying compliant in the cloud. It's about providing a precise tool for a precise job, which removes a lot of those industry-specific barriers we talked about earlier.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the cloud storage software market. Wow, quite a journey. We've covered the big drivers pushing it forward, the real restraints that are still there, and some pretty exciting trends shaping what's next. We really hope these insights give you a clearer, sort of fuller picture of this incredibly important piece of our digital world.
Yeah, and maybe something to think about as we wrap up. Consider how these trends we discussed, especially AI and edge computing, getting integrated into cloud storage. How might that fundamentally change not just data management, but maybe the very nature of computing itself over, say, the next 5 years? What could that mean for individuals, for small businesses trying to navigate this constantly shifting digital landscape?
That is definitely a powerful thought to leave with. Food for thought, indeed. Thank you so much for joining us on the deep dive. As always, we encourage you to keep exploring, keep learning. Until next time.